Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting back into? We're getting back into Love Island All Stars episode 10. I know I'm a bit late with my videos, but as I said in my previous video, as you can see, I've buggered off for the weekend for my birthday as a treat to myself. Can't knock me for that, can't knock me for that. But also I couldn't forget about you lovely lot and talking about these episodes that are happening right now. So as I always ask before we get into this episode, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so you know I'm on to do videos. And let's get into this episode, shall we? So we know there's two bombshells that are entering the villa, and as it continues, the debate continues to touch at with about the loyal talk at the end of the day, because literally Mitch dropped a bomb when he picked Toby as the most loyal and Arabella as the least loyal, when in actuality Liberty, long suffering that she is at the moment, has been the most loyal to Mitch, but he didn't pick her. Within that chatter you see that Georgia S says something towards Toby, and I think it was just a point scoring exercise for her to try and get at Toby in regards to how she probably felt when Toby didn't pick her for a damn thing. At the end of the day, she made her bed, she's got to lie in it. But all I'm going to say is when these two new bombshells come in, which is Sophie and Tom, there's already been a situationship between Tom and Georgia S, and that comes to fruition when he's on a date with Georgia S. But I'll come to that more as the episode goes on. So basically Josh is now realizing that Molly is not as into him as he first thought, and he talks about how he shared that kiss with Molly, but then Molly kind of pulled away and then compared it to the kiss that he saw Molly have with Toby and how different it was. And I'm telling you, it's my theory, it is my theory that Georgia S going for Callum because Toby wanted Molly, and now Molly is going for Toby because Georgia S is with Callum. That's how I'm seeing it. They're all playing a game with each other, like seriously all playing a game with each other. But no matter how they play it, someone's gonna come off hurt, completely hurt. And my thing is I don't understand how Josh can keep talking about Georgia H like he has a chance with Georgia H at the end of the day, because he's trying to say that Georgia H got the wrong end of the stick when he wanted to get to know Molly. So he's saying he didn't want to kiss Georgia H because he didn't want her to get the wrong impression. And I'm thinking, it ain't about the wrong impression. She didn't want your ass in the first place. As soon as you told her about your interest in Molly, bearing in mind you came in gunning for her, she told you go do what you need to do. But you and her have no compatibility. From when a girl tells you that you and her have no compatibility, there's no way in which you can come back to try and mess around with that girl, because Georgia H is not one to be messed with at the end of the day. You talk about Molly and Toby, and Molly and Toby are having this conversation, and Molly's talking about how they're organically panning out. No, my love, you're not organically panning out. You've orchestrated the whole situation because you are miffed at Georgia S and Callum. Toby was honest with her by saying that she makes him nervous in a way. And all I can say is Toby is very different with Molly than he is with Georgia S. He's kind of becoming that needy little boy with Molly, and that's what Molly likes. She likes people to want her. And when Callum shifted his attentions from her, that's why she didn't like it, because she needs people to want her. I know Georgia S and Callum are going to do my head in. They're literally going to do my head in. Because now he's saying that all he was there for is for her, is for Georgia S. And I'm like, no, you wasn't. You really wasn't. You came in for Molly, and that's what you did. You chose Molly to try and work things out with her, and I still think you want to try and work things out with her, to be fair. And Georgia S is saying that she's scared because Callum ticks all her boxes. But all I'm saying is we'll see what happens when someone else rocks up. That's all I'm going to say. We'll see what happens when someone else rocks up, and see if Callum continues to tick all of Georgia S's boxes, because Toby ticked all of her boxes and she wanted to see how things went with Toby. But because he turned around, being open that he was, and not set off with Georgia S to wanting to speak and get to know Molly, she went off half-cocked and did what she did. So I'm calling BS on the Georgia S and Callum relationship right here, right now. Absolute BS on it. So then you see Tyler, I think it was Tyler, picked Hannah and asked her to come up to the terrace. So they went up to the terrace for a chat. And at the end of that chat, they both ended up kissing twice. Hannah's there saying that Tyler put it on her and she didn't know what to do. But my thing is when I was watching it, it looked like it was a 50-50 connection. It looked like they both lent into each other and they're both enjoying that kiss. And then it's after the fact that you then get Hannah saying, oh, well, you need to talk to Kaz. And he's like, yeah, I do need to talk to Kaz. But my thing is if you're interested in someone, then why do you not sit there and chat to that person that you're coupled off with already and have that conversation with them and say, look, there may be a kiss or two in this, rather than kissing and then going to them after the fact? Because Kaz is a very perceptive person and she already perceived that something happened between Hannah and Tyler when they went up on the terrace at the end of the day. So instead of Tyler heeding Hannah's words, he went straight to somebody else. I can't remember who it was he spoke to, and then he went straight to someone else. Not straight to Kaz to go and have that conversation with her, but it wasn't until Toby told him, no, you need to talk to Kaz now. You need to stop talking to me. It won't go any further, but you need to talk to Kaz now. That's when he spoke to Kaz. That is when he spoke to Kaz. And then that is when Kaz basically was perfectly blunt with him and said, okay then, like, kind of like, you do you. She didn't show that she was unhappy with it. She didn't show that she was happy with it. She was like, you do you. If you want to get to know her at the end of the day. And then from that, Kaz went and told her woes to Libby and I think somebody else that was sitting there. And of course, Libby had to jump right in there. For her best friend and pull Tyler to the side. And all I was thinking is, Libby, you need to keep well away from that. Let Kaz and Tyler sort out what they need to sort out. You don't need to tell Tyler nothing at the end of the day, because you can't even tell Mitch what it is that you damn well want in that sense. And when you do, if you do, yeah, then fall back on your word and fall back into the same old pattern with him. It makes no sense. So Libby needs to kind of practice what she preaches. So you see that Toby and Callum pieced it out. Toby was het up because of the misrepresentation of what he said and the misinterpretation of it. So Callum and Toby pieced it out. So then you see Hannah talking to Kaz. And Kaz just says it is what it is at the end of the day, because Kaz can't be fucked with it. If you kiss, you kiss. She's not a schoolgirl in a schoolgirl playground, and that's how it's continuing to be in this cycle of Love Island. Like, it's like they literally go back to school days, and this is how they would have behaved, with either in front of their friends' faces or behind their friends' back. So then we get to the daytime and everybody's having their conversations about the night before and who kissed who. So Georgia S and Callum have admitted to the people them that they kissed at the end of the day. They do bore me. They do. They really do bore me. And then you got Georgia H speaking about Anton, saying that he's giving her a little bit of the ick, but it's nothing that he's doing. And I'm like, if someone's giving you the ick, my love, it is something that they're doing. No two ways about it. It's something that they're doing that your subconscious or your mind cannot take, and it's giving you the total ick. And I, for one, think she needs to tell Anton and stop feeding into the fact that you and Anton are good. Because every time Anton's talking, he's talking about he's getting closer, he's hugging, he's kissing more, showing more affection to each other and seeing where things go. All you hear from Georgia H is parroting, yeah, like everything's fine, and it's not fine. Dudes give you the ick. You could tell from the kiss that they shared that that Georgia H wasn't really in it, but Anton was. And even when he's talking to the guys after this, he's very much into Georgia H. So she needs to talk to him before it goes any further. And then you see the lads are talking about Mitch and the situation that's happening with Libby, and they're basically saying that they don't believe that Mitch has a thing for Libby. They don't believe that Mitch actually likes Libby, and he doesn't. It's true. This is what Mitch does. This is what Mitch does. He finds a placeholder. He finds someone that he can easily manipulate and talk around, which is what he did with Millie. What he did with Libby. Libby's got the gift. Libby's got the gab. She's got the gab, but then she don't back it up. Once she said what she said, she don't back it up. She falls back into the same old pattern with Mitch. I'd said, nah, from when you did what you did, me and you can chat as friends, but anything beyond that is not going to happen. So you do you and I'll do me. But Libby, of course, didn't do that because she seems to think that there's something between them when there isn't. This is what Mitch does. This is how he makes women feel in that sense, especially when they're placeholders, because he works hard to make sure that he can manipulate them into what he wants them to do, and that's what he's doing with Libby, but she can't see it. So now we see the 2 new bombshells dropping, and that's Sophie and Tom. Georgia S goes completely kerfuffled, completely grabs Hannah in a room saying that she's baffled with Tom coming in and she doesn't know what to do because there is unfinished business between them, and she'd kind of left him in the pipeline when she decided to go after Toby, so it was up in the air and open for them in that sense, but she still has those feelings in regards to Tom. And this is why I say Georgia S is playing some kind of game, and it's going to blow up in her face, like completely blow up in your face, because how can she say what she says to Callum in terms of how organic they are, that he's the best, he's the best person in that sense, and that they just click and they get on and all this, that and the other, and then in the next breath you ain't even thinking about Callum, it's Callum who, because that's what Georgia S just did, it's Callum who, and it's all about Tom now and how she can rectify her feelings in regards to him. But that's why I'm saying this girl is playing a Hesty game. She's playing a Hesty game. So then Tom and Sophie get a text. Tom has to date 3 girls of his choice. You get your starter, you get your main, you get dessert. Same with Sophie. Starter, main, dessert, in order who they want to get to know. So Tom picks Arabella for his starter, main Molly, dessert Georgia S. Sophie picks Chris as her starter, main Toby, dessert Josh. Sophie basically said that she didn't have a fave, she's just there to basically people watch and see who she gets on with or doesn't get on with in that sense. So it's when the dessert starts between Tom and Georgia S and Callum, and all of them are looking on over the balcony, so they're all looking on over the terrace so they can see what's going on. And Georgia S, wait, the chemistry between them two is undeniable. You can see it, you can plainly see it. And Callum was not liking what he was seeing, because at the end of her meal my girl got up and sat on man's lap to give him a hug, and I'm sitting there like, is this what we're doing now? Is this what we're doing now? After all the rubbish you put on Toby, yeah, all the rubbish you said to Callum, as soon as Tom comes in, as again, it's Callum who? It is Callum who? After that, there's nothing more really for me to talk about. The public who actually pick who out of the 3 that they picked get to go with Sophie or with Tom. So somebody's going to be stolen from someone, but we'll see how that goes, because you know Tom's going to pick Georgia S, and that ain't going to go down well with Callum. That is not going to go down well with Callum, but we'll see how it goes, shall we? Anyway, that's the end of this video. I'll be back with the next one. As I always say, my renegades, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so you know I'm on doing videos, and I'll be back on your screens very soon. Peace out.